Hello, my name is Tessa KIlcline, and I'm currently in 8th grade. To be honest, as of right now, I haven't done anything particularly extraordinary. I'm only 14 years old, after all. But I do have the intention of changing lives, and that's what I want to share with you. There's this book called 13 Reasons Why by Jay Asher. It's a fictional young adult novel about a teenager named Clay. He gets a set of tapes in the mail from his classmate Hannah, who had recently committed suicide. Hannah had recorded the tapes shortly before she killed herself, and then sent them to all of the people who made her feel like it was necessary, explaining what they had done to her in detail. When Clay receives the tapes, he is shocked. He has no idea what he could have possibly done to contribute, and he spends the night listening to the tapes to find out. I read this book for the first time when I was 12 years old, and it's stuck with me ever since. It's the type of book that changes a person. It has changed me. After reading this book, I did a lot of reflection. That book made me think about how much people can affect other people, even ones we don't know very well. To quote the book, no one knows for certain how much impact they have on the lives of other people. Oftentimes, we have no clue. Reading this book changed the way I think and the way I treat others. Because of this book, I feel more empathy. Another example of the astonishing power of literature is To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. I'm sure most of you have read it, but for those of you who haven't, I'll give a brief summary. The book takes place in the South in the 1930s. The main character is a young girl named Scout. Her dad is a white man and a lawyer, and he takes on a case where he's defending an African-American man. In that time period, that was a huge deal. This causes an uproar in their small town, causing lots of controversy over equality and civil rights. There are many more issues and themes presented in this book, but to go into all of it would take way too long, so I'm just going to leave it at that. The point is, this book addresses a lot of issues. It addresses both racial equality and gender equality. The ideas in it are deep, and they challenge the way people think, especially the way people thought at the time of its publication in 1960. It's a book that is rich in thought and is a hugely important piece of literature. It's another one of those books that changes its reader. I believe that books can have the power to change us. Ideas and concepts travel from the brain of the author to the page and then to the brain of the reader. In a way, the reader is in the thoughts of the author, which helps them learn to empathize. Words can be powerful. They can change the way we think. The ideas that authors present in their work can be deeply important. They can affect people in so many ways. They fill us with emotion, with a desire to change, not only ourselves, but our world. And I'm not the only one who thinks so. Doctors Raymond Marr and Keith Oatley are psychologists. In the years 2006 and 2009, they published studies along with several other scientists about the impact of literature on the brain. Their research showed that those who read literature more frequently are better able to empathize with others. In 2010, Marr found that young children who had had more stories read to them had a keener theory of mind. Theory of mind is basically the ability to understand how other people feel and understand their thoughts and intentions. And the people who had had more exposure to written language were better able to do so. Other studies have shown that literature, particularly poetry, causes us to reflect on our lives. Scientists have discovered that reading literature causes activity in the brain's right hemisphere. This is the side of the brain that is more oriented towards creative thinking and in general does more interpreting rather than factual or straightforward thinking. This activity is proof that literature is more than just straightforward. It forces us to focus on interpretation and causes us to reflect on our lives. In short, stories can change us. They can have the power to inspire people and improve their lives. That's what I want to do when I'm older. I want to write stories that change people. I want to inspire people through what I write. Words can be powerful. They can reach deep within you and ignite a spark in you, a spark of inspiration and motivation. And that spark is so important. That spark of inspiration, that influence means everything. That spark changes the world. I want to change the world with what I write. Thank you.